What is up, everybody? It's Emerald10 here with a Diablo 2. Diablo 2? What am I talking about? It's Diablo 3. Get the two games mixed up. Anyways, I'm going to be talking about the current patch notes for 1.5. I'm going to go into more detail about like each class's what's changing and such, and give you my opinions and such. So today I'm going to be talking about the Demon Hunter. Basically, the changes to the Demon Hunter. What got changed, what didn't get changed, all that kind of stuff. So I think the first thing I'm going to talk about is the bowler shot. Bowler shot actually got a bigger, really huge difference, and that's in the blast radius. So originally the blast radius was 7 yards, and then with volatile it was 14. So the changes they've done to that now is it's 17 yards regularly and 20 yards if you using volatile. So I'm going to show an example here. As you can see, the blast radius is a lot more longer now, so that it's great for dealing with champion packs. What do I think about bowler shot, to be honest, with the blast radius increase? I think it's going to kind of be fighting between, people using Hungering Arrow or Bowler Shot. Some people might go with more the Hungering Arrow with Devouring Arrow or Spray of Tooth. Or they'll go with Bowler Shot with the Volatile Explosive to increase that radius. For one, I probably will be using Bowler Shot more with my builds on the Demon Hunter, because I think that blast radius increase is just such a huge improvement to help with dealing with a lot of like mobs and champion packs related stuff. So, and it's just, I just don't think it's one of those abilities that you should, avoid, or if you don't like it, fine, that's okay. But I think you should at least give this one a try once the patch hits. Next up is Chakram. So now Chakram will always fire a projectile regardless of the distance or if an enemy is targeted. So it just means it's still going to launch a projectile either way. So nothing really too different there other than that. Next up is Companion. Now Companion has been significantly increased. Some of them, only 3 of the ruins actually got changed. The other 2, which is the Bat Companion and the Ferret Companion, those are still, there's nothing changed in those. It's just mostly on the Wolf Companion, the Spider Companion, and the Boar Companion. So now Companion added a 30-second cooldown, reduced each companion's attack cooldown from 1.5 to 2 seconds to 1 second. Weapon damage increased from 30% to 38%, but they can no longer critically hit. And Companion's damage now scales with attack speed. So if you're going to be stacking attack speed with the Demon Hunter, which honestly I don't know if that's really necessary because of attack speed getting nerfed badly, but it's not a bad idea to put a little bit of especially if you're going to be using Companion. So I would suggest doing that. So now to talk about the skill ruins now for the Wolf, Spider, and Boar Companion. All of them have been redesigned to be more durable pets now, but one of the differences is that Wolf Companion is now has comparable durability of one zombie dog, which is the Witch Doctor pet. And they have a new attack, which is a 120-degree cleave with a 10-yard radius that hits for 94% weapon damage. That's for the Wolf Companion. For the Spider Companion, he has slightly more durability than the Wolf Companion, and he has the same kind of ability, however the damage is not the same. The damage is 38% weapon damage, and it slows every enemy it hits by 60% for 2 seconds. And then the Boar Companion has more durability than the Spider, but his attack is a single target attack that hits for 30% weapon damage, and then he provides a 155 60 they put in add at something crap on there, so it says 155 to 60 life per second and a 15 bonus to all resistance to the Demon Hunter. So that could be definitely interesting to check out. I probably will check it out when the patch hits. I might give Boar Companion a try and see what I think. Um, Next up we have Evasive Fire. So Evasive Fire skill rune Shrapnel has been replaced with a new rune called Hardened, and what it does is Hardened increases your armor by 50% for 3 seconds and replaces the backflip. So instead of doing that backflip, you're now going to get a 50% armor for 3 seconds. So that's definitely something cool to check out with that one, especially if you do use Evasive Fire. Skill Rune Parting Gift, weapon damage increased from 45% to 55%, and Poison Bomb delay reduced from 1.2 seconds to 0.6 seconds. So, again, something probably you guys would like to check out, especially if you do use Evasive Fire. Next up, Sentry. So Sentry actually got changed really differently now. So instead of it costing 10 discipline, it now costs 30 hatred. So now it's changed from a discipline only skill to a hatred only skill. They increased the weapon damage from 55 to 88%. Players can now have 2 turrets active at once, but an 8-second cooldown has been added to compensate. So you can have 2, but there's an 8-second cooldown before you can place the second one. I have to do some testing with that one while I'm doing while I'm on the PTR, so I'll give that one a try. Next, Sentry can no longer critically hit, and the skill runes have changed for them. Spitfire turn, weapon damage increased from 8 to 15%, so that's something to try out. Vigilant Watcher has been redesigned and now reduces the cooldown of Sentry by 2 seconds instead of increasing the duration. So now that's going to kind of reduce that. Maybe reduce the cooldown, the 8-second cooldown a bit, so that you can probably do it again. And then Chain of Torment, weapon damage increased from 80 to 100%. So this is definitely something interesting to try with Sentry now that the fact that now it's not a discipline skill, it's a hatred skill now. So definitely try that one. Next up we have Shadow Power. Shadow Power got nerfed. I think from what I've read, it's nerfed now. It's not really that great. Anyway, so base spell changed from 20% lifesteal for 3 seconds to 15% lifesteal for 5 seconds. So they reduced the lifesteal, but instead of it now being just 3 seconds, it's 5 seconds. So you're going to get 5 seconds of 15% lifesteal for 5 seconds. Skill Rune Nightbane changed from 4 hatred per second for 3 seconds to 3 hatred per second for 5 seconds. So they reduced that now, but it's only at 5 seconds, so it's not really worth it looking into. Blood Moon changed from 30% lifesteal for 3 seconds to 25% lifesteal for 5 seconds. So that's another kind of nerf, to be honest. Gloom got changed from 65 weapon damage reduction for 3 seconds to 35% weapon damage reduction for well, not weapon damage reduction for 5 seconds. So it's not I don't think it's worth the effort, to be honest. I don't know, to be honest. I think it's kind of reduced. I mean, I've never used Shadow Power, so to be honest, I don't know if it's worth it and all that, but in a sense I think it should. Not many people probably will use it, so because of it being nerfed. Spike Trap, the only changes they done was the skill ruins now. So Sticky Trap, explosion radius increased from 8 yards to 16 yards. Bandola has been replaced with a new rune, Echoing Blast. Echoing Blast gives your spike traps 3 charges with a minimum delay of 1 second between each explosion and deals damage as poison. Big difference, I don't know, to be honest, so I have to do some testing with those as well. Strafe, movement speed increased from 65 to 75%, hatred cost reduced from 16 to 12, and the skill rune Equilibrium, sorry, hard to pronounce these words sometimes, has been replaced with a new rune, Ember Strife. Ember Strife leaves behind a fire trail that deals 65% weapon damage per second for 2 seconds, so could be good, could be, but as I said, I've never used Strafe before when I played Demon Hunter, so I think it could be something to try out. All Ruin variants now allow you to walk through enemies while active, so that's a pretty good one. Volt. This was the biggest, I think the biggest change is Volt. And it has to do with Trail of Cinders, because Trail of Cinders, when it was released in patch 1.4, it was dealing 15, I think it was like 1,500% weapon damage as fire, and so now they basically reduced that. So can now be used while under the effect of roots, including Jailer, and will break the effect. And then Trail of Cinders reduce damage from 1,500% to 300 weapon damage over 3 seconds. And now Trail can now stack. So basically, it means you can do it like you can stack now instead. But the reduced weapon damage has pissed off a lot of people now because of the fact it's like, well, we got it now, and now we can't. Now it's just getting reduced to 300. I, for one, may even try it, and you know what? I don't really care. 300 damage, that's still pretty high for an ability like that. Skill Rune Acrobatics. Cooldown reduced from 15 seconds to 10 seconds. So next up are the passives. Custom Engineering adds the ability to have a third sentry turned out at a time, and now also increases the maximum number of spike traps you can have out to 6. So that's especially if you're going to be using a sentry and the spike traps together, then that's something to go into consideration. Numbing traps, damage reduction reduced from 25 to 20, but now also works with grenades and sentries. So you can use that if you're going to be using grenades and sentries, but I don't think I would. Perfectionist got changed. So now it also increases life, armor, and resistance by 10%. I've actually been testing, I think, yeah. Reduces discipline cost of all skills by 10%, increases your life, armor, and all resistance by 10%. So it's still got the same ability, reducing the discipline cost by 10%, but now there's the added bonus, it increases your life and armor and your resistance. So at the moment, this is on my nightmare characters, so my resistance right now are all 15, and my armor is a bit higher. So that's something to probably try out. I'm definitely probably going to use it a lot more, especially for the fact of a 10% increase in resistance is something you shouldn't really blow off. Thrill of the Hunt has been redesigned. Every 7 seconds, your next Hatred Spender roots all targets hit by it for 2 seconds. Enemies can only be rooted once every 7 seconds. This does not affect Sentry, and now displays a buff icon when you're ready to use. So that's another thing to try out if you want to. So anyways, that's all I have to talk about with the Demon Hunter. I think there was some nerfs there, and then there was some significant boosts, and some things that could be definitely worth trying out with some different builds and all that. I definitely probably will be trying some different builds with the Demon Hunter, but it's definitely going to see Bowler Shot being more competitive with Hungering Arrow now that the fact that the blast radius has been increased. Tune in next time. I'll go into more discussion with the next character, which is the Barbarian. I'm going to go into a little bit more discussion about what got changed with the Barbarian skills and such. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Thanks.